That's right. Looks like we can expect a beautiful summer's day ahead for most parts of the country. Right now, though, this past weekend, Amanzimtoti played host to Angus Buchan's Mighty Men conference. I mean, this conference, it's well known all across South Africa, all across the world as well. On teaching men to become, the mighty men that we need to be, the primary breadwinners, looking after our families, somebody that, our families can look up to. And joining us to talk about his experiences, businessman Graham Power, on how he turned his life around for the better. Graham, very nice to have you in studio, my man.
Thank you. Privileged to be here.
May I just say, what a fantastic surname to have, Mr. Power.
I love
My
that.
My goodness. All right.
In Afrikaans, it's poor, huh?
I didn't see that one coming. All right. But tell us about your own mighty man transformation and why you decided to even, take it a bit further into your business ethics life too.
I ended up kind of growing up through a fairly poor environment. Had this burning desire just to want to climb the ladder, chasing success. Worked for a construction company for 10 years, started my own business, and just through all of that, just this matter of wanting to gather and grow.
Yeah.
Did many things I'm not particularly proud of, trampling on people as you want to climb that ladder, starting your own business. In that time when I was working for this construction company, the big thing was that if you made money, regardless of how you made it, you were the hero. And so many of the normal day-to-day operations were things, the ethical values were not quite what one would be particularly proud of.
Yeah.
And I ended up starting this business 32 years ago. Today we operate across South Africa, have about 2,000 employees, and we build houses and roads and bridges and dams and things like that. But I ended up having quite a radical turnaround in my own life in 1999. I was 34 years old at the time. I had done all these things, chasing success, and got to a point where I ended up committing my life and really turned around from doing all these things that I'm not proud of, and then ended up in my business front, where there was a lot of collusion going on in the construction industry. You all know what happened with the 2010 World Cup. We were one of those companies that were very much part of that mafia, and then having to go back to these many CEOs and MDs and saying to them, sorry guys, we're no longer prepared to be part of this club.
Wow.
So it wasn't a popular thing to do, probably one of the toughest things I had to do in my life. And then slowly but surely saying, can we survive if we don't also participate in all of this collusion? And thankfully we've been able to survive through that period.
Now, you know what, we are putting the spotlight on men this morning, and over the past couple of years, you started two of your own projects. We call it the Unashamedly Ethical campaign and also the Global Day of Prayer, where I think you would like to encourage men to be the best possible kind of men out there, real-life superheroes. What does it take, in your opinion? Tell me a bit about these campaigns as well, and what should us guys do and focus on?
You asked the question about mighty men, and of course the idea is not about anything about ego. It's in fact the exact opposite. And Angus is a very dear friend, and yesterday there was this gathering in Amanzimtoti. 2 weeks ago there was a gathering here in Cape Town. Yesterday I happened to have the privilege of being in the Vaal Triangle where there was a prayer gathering. So these things are happening across the country every week, and sometimes it's men, sometimes it's families. And I think we're all very concerned about what's happening in our country. We think about politics, we think about corruption, we think of crime, unemployment. These are all huge, huge factors that are affecting our everyday life. So what we did was in the year 2001, we had 45,000 people at Newlands, got together Christians from all the different denominations coming together to pray about what at that stage was one of our big key issues. We had 22 bombs that exploded in Cape Town in less than 18 months, you may remember. And thankfully, from that time until September last year, not a single bomb had exploded in Cape Town. Now, I want to tell you, this is something that no man, no great committee could have coordinated. And from that one gathering, it rolled out to the whole of Africa, 56 nations praying together in 2004. And progressively from there, I had the privilege of being in the Jakarta Stadium with 100,000 people within that stadium. And that led to a growth across the world. By 2010, all 220 nations had people, large and small groupings, praying together for the particular things in the country. That includes government, that includes HIV, AIDS, and it includes all of those things that are really ripping away at society. So that's the Global Day of Prayer issue. The Unashamedly Ethical is a campaign challenging people to not pay or receive bribes, but it goes broader than that, and it's also about your and my family commitment. If I committed to my wife to be honourable to that commitment that I made, and so forth. And it's small things, you know. A phone would ring at home, and my kid would run to the phone, and I would say, well, if it's for me, say I'm not here. I'm actually telling my kid, you know what, it's okay to be dishonest.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Powell, for bringing your story to us. And I think it really, really does emphasize the importance out there of, I think, building ethics into our leadership skills, but especially families, especially when we think about the fact that a lot of South African families, they are without fathers, and we're losing a lot of men to crime, to drug abuse. And so thank you very much for bringing that inspiration to us. Well, on that note, let's catch up with Leigh-Anne and find out what else you can expect on your Feel Good Breakfast show.